rankings which eliminated teams have brightest futures. For the 17 NFL teams already out of the playoff race, the focus is already turning to 2018. Several franchises face a multi-year rebuild that will require organizational shifts and a stockpiling of talent. But others are hoping to get back to the postseason in short order with better luck on the injury front and a few tweaks. Here's our ranking of how every team eliminated from the postseason chase stacks up for the future. 1. Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott's suspension provided an additional reality check for the offense's makeup, but Dallas is still in an enviable position for the long term. Though Dak Prescott needs some help, both in improved protection from the once dominant line and, the Cowboys still have one of the best young cores in the NFL. There are key offseason moves to be made in re-signing DeMarcus Lawrence and David Irving, but this group looks more in need of a reset than a rebuild. 2. Packers. Green Bay was one of 5 teams without a Pro Bowl selection, but Aaron Rodgers' presence lifts a still flawed group into contender status. Change could be afoot in the secondary and at wide receiver, where Devin Adams emerged as a number 1 option and should be brought back. Yet general manager Ted Thompson seems unlikely to change his approach toward free agency, especially the Martellus Bennett deal. 3. Texans. Deshaun Watson's torn anterior cruciate ligament marred what should have been a coronation, but the rookie quarterback gives Houston a shining outlook. Even if J.J. Watt doesn't return to his pre-2016 form after missing all but 8 games in the last 2 years, and is anyone ready to bet against him? He'll join Jadeveon Clowney and DeAndre Hopkins as another Texans player among the best at his respective position. With better luck, there's no reason this group can't make a run in the AFC next season. 4. 49ers. Expecting a 4-game win streak to carry over into next season could be a dangerous proposition given the work still left to be done on a developing roster. But first-year coach Kyle Shanahan's group is undeniably trending upward. More importantly, San Francisco appears to have handled one of the toughest tasks in any rebuild by identifying a long-term solution at quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo. With ample money to spend, General Manager John Lynch could make a big splash in free agency after a relatively measured approach in his first go-around. More, the best and worst of the 2017 NFL season. More, 17 top plays of the 2017 NFL season. 5. Redskins. With 20 players on injured reserve, the Redskins faced nearly insurmountable attrition in 2017. Though there are still some glaring deficiencies, safety and inside linebacker remain weak spots, there's room to grow on both sides of the ball. Emerging from the years-long Kirk Cousins drama empty-handed, however, would send Washington tumbling down this list. 6. Cardinals. Arizona hasn't set itself up for a seamless transition if Larry Fitzgerald and Carson Palmer walk away after this season, and the potential loss of Bruce Arians could compound the issues facing the team. But David Johnson's return will reinvigorate the offense, and the defense has ranked number 1 in the last 7 weeks in yards allowed per game. If the quarterback concern is addressed properly, Arizona could be in contention for some time. 7. Lions. Detroit appears to have plateaued under Jim Caldwell, leaving many to wonder what change is necessary to reach the next level. With Matthew Stafford and a solid core, this group isn't in danger of falling off in the near future. But long-standing issues in the running game and pass rush need to be addressed. 8. Raiders. Just a year ago, Oakland looked to have one of the NFL's best collections of burgeoning talent. Now the future looks far murkier, with quarterback Derek Carr and wide receiver Amari Cooper raising serious concerns through their struggles. The offensive line could rediscover last season's impressive form, but the defense still needs reinforcements at every level to aid Khalil Mack. 9. Dolphins. Miami might seem in a better spot than much of its competition at this point on the list, but there are few avenues for change. Having little salary cap space could force some difficult decisions, and the young talent's development has been limited. Ryan Tannehill's return will only do so much for a group still in need of playmakers. 10. Broncos. The once impenetrable defense is still nearly the NFL's top-ranked unit, yet ranks 22nd in scoring. That imbalance reflects both the group's rare vulnerability and the untenable situation that Vance Joseph and John Elway have created by failing to develop an offensive plan. Denver is a solid bet to make some sort of big swing at quarterback, but it's hard to count on a plug-and-play answer. 11. Bears. Mitchell Trubisky remained something of a mystery after Chicago brought him along slowly as a starter. But the backfield is otherwise in fine hands with Jordan Howard and Derek Cohen, and there is sufficient defensive talent to be developed. A new coach could give this group the boost it sorely needs. 12. Giants. Taking on a roster that went 11-5 in 2016 and is still dotted with Pro Bowl talent would seem like an appealing prospect. But the new coach and general manager for Big Blue will have to instill a new culture after this year's drama-filled campaign. The last-ranked defense has given up an NFL-worst 32 touchdown passes, and the team won't be able to spend its way out of problems as it tried to do in the past 2 off-seasons. 13. Buccaneers. Jameis Winston is still only 23, but any turnaround for Tampa Bay likely depends on him developing both as a leader, 210 this season as a starter, and passer, 44 turnovers in 44 career games. Yet with Dirk Koetter's offense stalling and questions lingering about the relationship between coach and quarterback, perhaps a new figure is needed to pull the Buccaneers out of their rut. With the rest of the NFC South thriving, there's little hope for a quick fix. 14. Bengals. As Cincinnati stares down what looks to be a post-Marvin Lewis future, a spark could be difficult to discover. With the likes of running back Joe Mixon, defensive end Carl Lawson and cornerback William Jackson III, there are a handful of promising pieces. But the same questions still hang around the much-maligned offensive line and Andy Dalton, and the franchise's sparing approach to spending caps its potential for a true transformation. 15. Jets. For a team that faced preseason accusations of tanking given its composition, Todd Bowles' group outpaced expectations. Yet there's still no long-term answer at quarterback beyond 38-year-old Josh McCown, and recent draft whiffs have left a dearth of young talent. Drafting and developing 16. Colts. Get well soon, Andrew Luck. Beyond the potential return of their franchise quarterback, the Colts are short on hope for a rapid revival. Malik Hooker has the making of a future All-Pro in the secondary, but general manager Chris Ballard might need to be more aggressive in reshaping the organization in his second off-season at the helm. 17. Browns. Trust the process? A boatload of cap space and 5 picks in the first 2 rounds, including potentially 2 in the top 5, are nice, but those tools are of little use if the organization can't commit to a single vision. Even if John Dorsey's hire as general manager brings some stability, the challenge of this rebuild is unmatched elsewhere in the NFL. Follow Michael Middlehurst Schwartz on Twitter at MikeMSwartz. Photos, NFL celebrations.